What's going on, Metropolitans? It is an off day for the New York Mets, but frankly, there's a lot to talk about because we have a new report that links Pete Alonso as a potential new trade target if he decides to walk at the end of the season. In fact, that same report has some news and notes for Juan Soto as well. We're going to break down both of those on this edition of Mets Digest. What's going on, everybody? Flobo Boyce is up here in the studio apartment to break down everything you love about the New York Mets. Myself, alongside Mike D'Angelo, we work tirelessly to bring that stuff to you. So thank you so much for making this relatively new channel part of your Mets content diet. And if you're watching this right now, all I ask is hit that subscribe button, like the video if you do, put the comments below. I read them all, positive and negative. Especially the negative ones, I don't know. But hey, I appreciate each and every single one of them. So please do subscribe, be part of the Mets Digest family. How are you guys feeling this weekend? I'll tell you how I'm feeling. I'm feeling pretty dang good. The Mets, still the best baseball team since June 1st, still being able to have one of the greatest comeback stories of the season. Because remember, they were 11 games under 500. Right now, they're about 17 or 18 games above 500 with plenty more wins in the offing. But it took a lot of guts, took a lot of resolve to have the NL East leading Philadelphia Phillies with the magic number of 1 to clinch and held them at bay all weekend after Friday night's blow up. So Saturday and Sunday, they need one more game to win. 88,000 members of Citi Field packed the stands to make sure Philadelphia came out empty-handed. That's the kind of guts, that's the kind of determination you need for a team. So I'm feeling pretty well myself. I don't know. You let me know how you're feeling about the rest of the season, but it's not about that. One of the cool moments of the story this weekend, if you're not watching the ESPN broadcast, which was incredibly biased for the Philadelphia Phillies, am I right, was Pete Alonso. Will he stay or will he go? And we're going to talk about that report in just a second about other teams that are linking Pete Alonso, but I really want to take a moment about the moment where Pete Alonso got up with his first at bat and tipped his cap, a curtain call, if you will, before he did it. Of course, the rumor was that he didn't even know what to do, and he was kind of urged by the umpire to do so. But I want to bring this up first. When he was asked about the moment after the game on Sunday, Pete Alonso says, "It's really special." Alonso said, "That's something that's right out of a storybook for me. It's truly remarkable to see and feel that reaction and appreciation from a packed house like that. It's wild. I just feel really blessed and really fortunate to be in this organization and come up through organization in this fantastic city." Seems now more than ever that, at least to me, that Petey wants to stay. He just wants to get that bag for it. The question becomes, what does that bag even look like? Because it is, relatively speaking, a down year. So, John Heyman over there with the New York Post, who covers the Mets. He's considered an MLB insider. Actually had an article a couple days ago about the draft or the free agent class and about who are some potential targets that some of our players will go to. Mentioned both Juan Soto and Pete Alonso. This is where this edition of Mets Digest pulls this from. But he says about Pete, and I wanted to bring this up here because I want your opinions on this. It says, an alleged off year, he has 34 homers and a 127 OPS plus, and is actually higher than 2023 following recent mechanical adjustments. The Mets reasonably tried $158 million last year, but he can probably beat that. If not the Mets, then the Astros, Rangers, Mariners, Orioles, Padres, and Cubs all work. And that's the rub. There's so many people who have the fan opinion who say, hey, look, you're the down year, you quote unquote embarrass yourself at the home run derby. I'm okay with letting Pete walk. It's okay if he lets him walk. And look, baseball is a business. There's a lot of reasons why you wouldn't do that. But yes, because of where he stands with offensive prowess, even in a down year, he is still a top tier first baseman. So it behooves any team to say, I can let someone walk if I can get an upgrade in return. We love Vientos. We love the idea of having people move over to first. I'm sure Vientos can do it himself, but he has proven a very capable third baseman. It'd be hard to move him. But look at that team list. The Astros, the Rangers, the Mariners, the Orioles, the Padres, and Cubs. And I'm not sure which one of those stick out to you. I'm looking at the Astros. If the Astros are interested in Pete Alonso, that tells me that they have, yeah, either he has A, enough juice to go, or B, everyone's given up on him and he still has juice to go. As much as people love or hate the Astros or think they're cheaters or not, they found ways to get diamonds in the rough while they're still diamonds. If you can imagine, I'm looking at acquiring that Yusei Kikuchi at the trade deadline, just becoming an ace in second tier ace for them since being brought over to Houston. So if a team of that caliber is looking at Pete, and even the Rangers, even though this year wasn't for them, they're not even going to the postseason, that tells me he has a lot to give. And that should worry anyone who was okay with letting Pete walk. Is he the most graceful? No. Is he the fastest? Heck no. And he looks like he flops on the ground every time he's out there in defense. But I always say you should only be able to give up someone if he gets an upgrade in return. The Orioles, I don't see as much because they have a bunch of young players and a young core. And the Padres, yeah, they're pretty much require anybody, but I am not sure that if they'll go out for Pete. But those are just me speculating. But I thought it was interesting that John Heyman had those on his short list. And so I say to you, watching the faithful, if this is a down year for Pete, if this is a down year, who can do something better? Check a look at this. Beating the clock, 30-plus home runs. Yeah, he may not hit 40 by the end of the year, but that's still some pretty solid numbers. And even though his chase rate is still kind of sad, and even though it feels like 3 or 4 days goes by where he feels lost at the plate, that's someone who still can produce. And now he's on a team where he's not necessarily the only person tasked with producing. Before Lindor went down, he was raking. You had Vientos raking. Alvarez is getting heat up again. JD, not so much, but even Winker getting up there with the batting average. Iglesias with runners in scoring position. I think, even if Pete's on the decline, if he's on a team where he's maybe now option 3 or option 4, that is a very cozy place to put someone in. That's a very cozy thing if your fourth best hitter is Pete freaking Alonso. Let's call a spade a spade. So that report there wasn't the only thing that was listed by John Heyman on that New York Post report. There was also something about Juan Soto, and I feel like we're going to hear Juan Soto stuff until the cows come home, and that's okay. Even though I'm not thinking he's a cultural fit for the team, that's just one man's opinion. Don't flame me in the chat. You can't knock the idea. If there's a generational talent willing to go elsewhere, you got to put your bid in at least. So Juan Soto is going to enter a crowded outfield if he decides to get acquired by the Mets. But of course, he isn't the only one who's looking for him. He continues. The Yankees are understandably anxious to bring back Juan Soto. The Mets are likely to play, and though they can outbid anyone with their highest payroll, I mentioned we get some money back because of Verlander's option to invest. It is easy to leave the Bronx. True, the Giants, Blue Jays, and Cubs tried to trade for Soto, and the Dodgers and Phillies can never be ruled out. A 13-agent poll suggests $520 million, which is more than $500 million. But the guess here, he cracks $600 million or comes close. $600 million or comes close. Let's take a look at that list right there, just to give you a little bit of a visual. There's no way he's going to go to the Blue Jays because we talked about this in the previous video. Due to the laws in Canada and tax laws in Canada, you basically have to basically give him a $700 million contract to make the same money he would make stateside. So I think that's out. And of course, the Yankees and Mets are really the New York teams. I think Juan has a bit of a structure here, a bit of a foundation here. I'm not sure why he would leave if given the chance. But you know what I thought was interesting would be the Los Angeles Dodgers. Would Juan go back to sunny California, to that stint over in San Diego? Of course, the Dodgers have the money. They have the prospects, if there were to be the case, if they have to basically hold people off to make room for him. Like, for example, if someone was ready to be called up, they can say, hey, another season in Oklahoma. We got Juan Soto now. Don't worry about it. That's another player, I think. So if I were willing to guess, definitely the Dodgers make sense. The Yankees make sense. The Mets make sense. Personally, you know how I feel about him personally, but professionally, of course, if someone can produce the way he's doing, and again, much like Pete Alonso, not be tasked with being the only offensive option in the Bronx. He's one of two. Why not put yourself in a situation that's a lot more cozy? And if you're into that whole flashy aspect of baseball, which I am, it is way more raucous at Citi Field on a given night with that light show, with the in-game host, with all the fanfare as well. I would like to see him on team, on OMG, just so the Yankees don't do it. But then I'm just being selfish. Hey, We reached the end of the video. Let me know what you think about that. Pete Alonso going out to Seattle. Juan Soto going to Los Angeles. It's a crazy, kooky time. Shout out to the New York Post for the article here. Let me know what you think in the comments below. This is Mets Digest. I'm Flobo Boyce, and I love the New York Mets. I hope you do too. Until next time, of course, it's LGM to the bitter end.